11 things that you need to stop buying because they clutter your home. Number one, CDs and DVDs. Now, you might have these in a tower and then they're organized, but a lot of times what happens is they end up on the counter, on the desk, in the bed, under the bed, on the couch, and they just end up everywhere. And that's just the case. Sometimes you open the case and don't even know where the CD or DVD is, and then you have to go and look for it. And another thing, you can stream your favorite song or movie online, and most people have a cell phone that has enough memory for them to have songs to listen to for a really long time. And I have a phone myself that has 256 gigabytes of memory, and I'm never going to be able to fill that thing up with enough songs. Another thing, to stop buying is too many pots and pans and plates and utensils. You can only use so many. Even if you live with another person, that person can only use so many as well. So you need to decide how many you actually need and then get rid of the rest. Because what happens is if you have too many, it gets cluttered in the cabinet, in the drawer, wherever. And then you're trying to find one specific thing and you can't find it because it's behind something else. Another thing to stop buying is magazines and magazine subscriptions, because what generally happens is you get a magazine, you may not read it, and it ends up on a table, or you do read it, it still ends up on a table, among other things, and the combination makes that desk or table really cluttered. So most magazines now have online magazines and you can get a subscription to that. And something else to stop buying are duplicate items. When you only need like one item, you go and buy two or three, and then you have stuff you're not using and it just stays in your cabinet or closet or wherever, and now you just have something taking up that space. So make sure that if you're ready to buy something that you don't have one at home already. And another thing to stop buying are calendars and planners if you don't use the physical copy of them. What happens is you buy them, they end up on the floor, in your room, around the house, wherever, and then you have way too many and they just clutter up your house. Now, especially because of the fact they have calendars and planners you can get online, on your phone, on your computer, wherever. You don't have to carry a physical one around. And another thing, don't buy reusable grocery bags because you do have to remember to actually take them with you. And if you don't, they are just cluttered in your house or your car, or maybe you get to the grocery store and you forget they're in your car and now they're cluttered there. And also, the bags you get at the grocery store, do not let them sit in a cabinet somewhere where they just become cluttered. You're going to get a new one every time you go to the grocery store. You do not need to keep them. Go ahead and throw them away or recycle them or whatever you have to do, but don't keep them in your house. And another thing to stop buying is clothes you really don't need. You have a full closet at home with stuff you've worn once, with stuff you've never worn, with stuff you're not going to wear again, and it is completely full. And so don't buy something else until you figure out what are the essential clothes that you need. What are the things you really are going to wear? What are the things that you really know that you're going to wear in the future? And then figure out which clothes you can get rid of. And then after that, you decide if you want to buy some extra clothes or clothes you actually need. And something else to stop buying is supplies for hobbies you're just not interested in anymore. Say you're really interested in rock climbing at one time. You bought all the equipment that you could buy for rock climbing. You went on a couple of rock climbs and you thought, hey, this is pretty cool. And now you haven't rock climbed in years. You're really not interested in it. But every time you see some new rock climbing gear out, you go and buy that rock climbing gear and it just sits in your garage or in a room and you never actually use it. Now, another thing you shouldn't buy is going to be home decor you are not sure that you are going to use, or that you know you're not going to use, but it was on sale and you say, I might use it at one time. And so if you buy this, what's going to happen is you're going to get it home and then just realize, hey, I'm not really going to use this. It's going to sit in a room somewhere, in a closet somewhere, and then it's going to take up space, especially if it's a big chair or couch or sofa or whatever that you bought that you know that you didn't want to use, and then you had to go out and buy something else, and then you still have the one that you bought before that's just sitting somewhere, maybe in storage or whatever. And now you have to figure out, okay, what am I going to do with that? Because it is going to take up space somewhere. It's going to become clutter somewhere. And so you don't want to buy anything that you think that you don't want to use. Another thing to stop buying is just don't buy something because it's a good deal. Think about, do you actually need the item? But it's a good deal, it's on sale, I should buy it. No, don't do that. because then you end up with like 10 or something or 15 or something, or maybe even 30 or something you don't really need, but you bought on a good deal. And now it's clutter in your house, in your pantry, in your cabinet, wherever it is. And you have to figure out, okay, I bought all this, but I'm never going to use it, or it's going to take me a real long time to use it, or it just may sit there, and then it does become clutter. And something else to stop buying is bottled water that comes in the plastic bottles. If you're not good with throwing away the plastic bottles, if they end up all over your house or apartment, on a dresser, on a couch, under your bed, wherever, and they're just all over, then you probably need to stop buying bottled water and try to figure out how you can get one bottle, or get a reusable water bottle that you can put water in and it filters everything, and you can have water in that instead of buying these 24 packs or 48 packs of water and all the bottles end up everywhere and not in the trash or not in the recycle. Now, figuring out what to stop buying because the clutter is up your house, I have a video on how you can declutter with 12 different tips, and you can watch that video right here.